Just waiting. The mobile says we're on. Hello, what, 2111, Saturday, the 18th of September. And you have myself, Brother David, and a special guest, first time on the channel, first show of its type, Brother Claudio in the mobile wagon there. The title for today's chat is a bit of a mouthful, but I'm sure you'll appreciate it. I thought we'd do something different aside from the usual humdrum of Romans and law and ecclesia and acts and statutes. We're going to talk about the bibliotheque and Antiquitech, astronomy, astrology, which links into divine rights of king and lordships, aka El, the Elohim, so electricity. The Antiquitech could come in the form of the Antiquitech machine, which I've just said to Claudio is one of the discoveries of antiquities, archaeological finds that first sparked my interest in the celestial astrological meanings towards us here, our realm, law, life itself. You could also look at the architecture of a church and look at the way that that's built. It kind of looks and reminds me of like an antenna transmitting type device. And we could also look at ancient civilizations and the way that they have formed buildings, and there is many hundreds of thousands of years, or thousands, hundreds of years, thousands of years old, going way back to 2000, 6000 BC, and the megalithic blocks of Baalbek. You have Baal in Baalbek, so the god Baal there. I'm going to look at astro-theological with Claudio. He's the brother that has helped us correlate times, meanings, planets. The Greeks, they had names of gods and correlated them. The Greeks primarily is when I found it, the Romans also, and other such ancient civilizations. So I'd like to take a stage exit to the left and introduce Claudio. Everybody that's met him that I know of in our circles and groups has always found him pleasant, polite, entertaining, enlightening, refreshing, and full of his own wisdom and knowledge with regards to what and how he puts things with regards to the planets, the alignments, the conjunctions. It's not one of my strong points at all. I'm primarily here looking from now all the way into the past. And I'm not very astute at looking into the future, but you'll find that there are ways to predict. We're all familiar with the term horoscope. Won't get into the etymological root references of that word, but septic peg, mystic meg in England in the newspapers. Russell, was it Grant? Two popular household names that were renowned for horoscope readings using a zodiac, which stems upon, your birth, time and date of being born, should I say, slap myself, birth, should know better, but born, times, and then the dates and the star charts readings. So astro-theological, we'll come into it as well. So astro is obviously space, the study of God, and logical, the logic, so the star study of God with logic behind it. That's where we've called in Brother Claudio. So that's set the theme for tonight. And some would argue that you can be able to see and predict possible future worldly events, galactic events, universal. We talk about universal rights, so universal laws. Hermes Trismegistus, Thoth, introduced me into the universal aspect of things, aside from the Egyptian, Nun, Apep, Atun, and things like this. So it's a big old circle, and without meaning to, you stumble upon things of interest of which you have no knowledge. no experience, and we're here today to talk about things along that subject. So without further ado, I'd like to let Brother Claudio say hello, introduce himself, and we'll see where we end up. Thank you for joining today, Claudio. A fist bump, and over to you, my brother. Grazie.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to sit and gab with you, my brother. And everybody knows Dave's been doing some awesome work. And my wife says, "Who's this guy? Oh, you know him? Oh my God, he's a celebrity. He's on all kinds of different shows, and she loves your demeanor. She loves everything about you." And it's like, oh my God, tell him I said hello. So you're special. We're proud of you, man. You're doing great work. You and all the brothers and sisters that make up the whole group there. It's SPLS Pro. It's awesome, man. It's awesome. And you guys are all taking it to a beautiful level, which is invigorating. And so kudos to you for that, brother. My name's Claudio, and I want to share anything that I can and learn whatever I can. And it's just a whole bunch of people that I've learned from that you're going to be hearing about, and some of my own guidance that I've gotten, because we all hold a little piece of puzzle, a little piece of the key. So yeah, it's awesome to be here, brother. What's invigorating is the times that we're upon are in the chart. It's meant to be. It's prophecy.
Yes, the legacy has been fulfilled, and the prophecy is being. The prophecy has been fulfilled, and the legacy is being created as we speak. This is not so much democracy in action, but the academic roots. Academia has kept from us certain attributes of science, laws, spiritualism, soulfulness, and that's a primary concern to a great deal. Myself, I've been studying the works of Rudolf Steiner, Helena Blavatsky, recently, more intensely, and spiritualism, soulfulness. I've stepped away from my usual path when I'm not cross-examining, correlating, researching law. I like to look at antiquities, history. It's a favorite subject of mine, and architecture. The Lord's come into it with the bibliotheque, Bible, known as Bible, is short for, I would argue, bibliotheque, which is some kind of library. It features the Son of God, a Son of God, should I say, not the, as I've come to learn, an a Son of God. So a helio with the sun itself, heliocentric, a helio sun-centered library of sorts. It brings us on to primarily, you could argue, Egyptian with Aten, Atum, Akhenaten, things like this, and the Greeks come into play. Alexandria comes into play. There's lots of subjects here that has got me interested by going to initially the Bible, the Romans themselves as well, civilizations, great many of them. It's an encyclopedia is what's found, mythological history, symbolism, the correlation with regards to what we find there, and then the ancient, just to close down, Southern American, Peru, the sun worship of other civilizations, spirituality, and the sun, S-O-N-N-E, sonship, in a word again. Ancient spiritual traditions existed and flourished that incorporated many different understandings of the creator and of celestial bodies. And they'll look at objects such as stars, planets, the moon, the sun, comets and meteorites. They command awe and wonder. We got the aurora borealis for the northern, aka the northern lights, which easily have led many to marvel the forces of nature. These objects, are awe-inspiring as they were, in ancient times. They are now as much then. Huge advances in science mean we constantly exposed to new research on these celestial bodies, and that's where I'm going to shut up and hand it over to you and say, Claudio, take it away. Wherever you want to go on with, please do.
It's not take it away, man. Let's just gab. It's all good. It's casual. Casual is great. Casual is great. Yeah, I didn't do as exact same path as you, like you just said, but when you start seeing the common denominator, just like in law, there's a common denominator in spirituality in every culture, just like every country. And that's the winged woman who comes home to save her son. Every culture, like, listen, here's a few names: Freya, Eris, Persephone, Isis, Wan Yin, Kali, Ereshkigal, Mictacawatl, Madonna, Madurga, Al-Barak, White Buffalo Calf Woman, Freya. Like, these are all the exact same story of the mother who saves her son, which is the Phoenix rising. It's Revelation 12, woman clothed with the sun, with the moon at her feet and 12 stars around her head. That Revelation 12 is upon us and happens every 558 years. So every culture has built all these monuments pointing to these Phoenix risings, insofar as they line up with volcanic eruptions. They line up with physical and metaphysical events that have happened. So yeah, 100%, they become, it's real. It's real, and we're upon it. So I now changed my whole path of learning what happened to what's going to happen and what are we supposed to be doing.
Right. Cleaning the cupboard, packing things, tidying up.
There's no doubt the sun is getting brighter. The global warming, it's getting brighter because we're getting a new sun. There's a new Phoenix rising going to come out of the ashes. So with this new sun, we're going to get brighter rainbows. A brighter rainbow means a brighter set of chakras. Brighter set of chakras mean you need to cleanse. That's the 7 scorpions of Isis. That's the 7 that's written in the Bible over and over and over and over again. It's about cleansing, going into the age of Aquarius, John the Baptist. So we're being cleansed of our impurities of our chakras with this new sun. And because we're changing an age, it's even more special, because we're getting out of the Piscean age, the materialistic age, the one we no longer need to be serving. We serve material. And that's all we chase is material. And now spiritual law says you're supposed to do this. Enough of the incorporation. Now it's time to be spiritual. Because this ship right here, this boat of Ra, this physical being is the Ra of boat. The boat of Ra. We're supposed to have been taking care of this. This is the mother. This represents the mother. This physical body represents the mother. The soul represents the little child that this mother, this being, was supposed to protect. We're supposed to be protecting that inner child within us that goes for a little hike, which is written on a Dendera circle, by the way. Exactly when you start losing different things and becoming more materialistic. That whole experience for the first 30 years and then the second 30 years, as above, so below.
Okay.
So we're supposed to be reuniting with that child within. And we're supposed to make sure that all 7 chakras protect that child within. Our thoughts need to be pure. Our words need to be pure. We only need to hear good things, smell good things. Our heart needs to be pure. So we should not let that child within see or hear or feel anything that's not positive. Because we're supposed to be protecting that soul. That's our soul. That's our child within. That's what's written on the Dendera Zodiac. That's what's written in the Bible. So you have the mother and the sun within you. That's what the Phoenix rising is about. We're getting a new sun. So that body is going to be protected. That body is going to be cleansed to protect that son, that child within. That's what the Phoenix rising is about. That's why this is the virus, which means a snake spitting its poison. That's the etymology. The Kundalini spitting its poison. The 7 chakras need to cleanse. So it's going to come out every orifice, every organ, right?
It is on Saturday night.
Skin excretion, your eye, your ears, your nose, your lungs, your kidneys, your arse, whatever it is.
Yeah,
That's the 7 scorpions of Isis.
Isis is one of the most revered goddesses of all time, and when you say the word Isis now, I don't doubt that many will relate to Isis as a bad, negative thing. This is exactly a good segue for me to interject and say what we come to see and what we come to hear, and what Claudio has just said there. If any of you heard that word Isis, you will have maybe thought of the Middle East and the conflict and Taliban and such things that the mainstream media is pumping out to us. But if you research what Isis was prior, and the importance, how greatly revered Isis was, a female goddess of one of the highest accolades, then, you know, yeah, we are in a very mixed up time there. And when you were speaking about body and mother and journey, I was thinking of I want you to explain a Dendera in a minute for my scribes that don't know. We're using jargon that might be unfamiliar to some, but when you've just said what you've said there, aside from what I just put in about Isis, my point was, I was thinking of Isis, Osiris, and Horus at the time there, which was obviously, not obviously, but for us, obviously, it was adopted by the Christian narrative with regards to Mary and Jesus. But, you know, this is what I said at the beginning, where one thing leads to another, and by accident, you end up finding out the true, like what we do with words when we find out the etymology or the etymological root references of that word, like we've pointed out with person. When you find one thing and you believe it to be true, you know, that's like being in a cult where you believe something to be true and you don't question it, but you believe what you're told and you don't, without question, and you follow it. What we've done is done a bit of digging, done a bit of cross-referencing, put ourselves above, our heads above the parapet, and brought to you what we've found. And it turns out that things that we are presented with aren't actually the original form of that information, of that storyline, of that narrative. And so we need to go back before. Example would be the Enuma Elish, the story of creation before creation. So where Claudio has just pointed out about the way he described the physical realm, conscious, souls, matter, life itself, we can find that there are truer versions of the story before the time of the story that we believe now to be true, you know, is in existence. Is that something that we can fire back on there, bounce back with, Claudio?
Yeah. So the Dendera is the horoscope, or it's horoscope. It's the lives of Horus, 36 decans, the different parts we play in the infinite circles of dying on the cross is laid out there. And we will keep doing that infinitely until we get it right. So that's what we're upon right now. So the Dendera Zodiac is the walk path of life. It is the horoscope. It is the Zodiac. It paints everything there. It lines up with this circle of 60 repeating golden ratio numbers. It lines up with the stars. It's beautiful. It is the Bible. The Dendera Zodiac is the first scriptures that we know of, not the first. It is the oldest scriptures that we know of that were done in concrete with images. Man has taken those images that are in concrete at the Hathor temple, called the Dendera Zodiac, and has created words on it, which ended up being the Bible we have today. So the oldest known Bible today is the Dendera Zodiac.
Okay.
Bar none. So when you look at metaphysics in the Bible, to which we're starting a Facebook group, and it's starting next Wednesday, it's just open whoever wants to attend. It's no, not great structure, but there's a little bit of structure. But it's showing and digging more deep into the Bible and how it relates to the Zodiac and the stars, because 100% it does relate. There's just proof. I mean, Santos was one of the first ones that started showing that, which is beautiful. We're taking it to another level. Hey, we've got to stand on the shoulders of greats, right? No, I love Santos.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We are indeed. Yeah. It's our job.
So again, the Dendera Zodiac shows the time that we're upon right now. It's there. it's about the Phoenix rising. April 15th, 2023. We have 17 moons left to go to finish our 7 scorpions of Isis, our cleanse, especially our materialistic cleanse. So that walk of Christ, that path of Christ is pretty much done for us for the Piscean age. Now it's weighing of the heart and the mother meeting with Horus, that is on the Dendera Zodiac. It's called the Infant Prince. And she's saying to you, what have you done? Have you been good?
It's
for the last 2,000 years now, we've had quite a few lives. So those people that sit there, I didn't do this, I haven't done this, I haven't done that. No. It's time for all that to be done now. You've done that in prior lives. This is about an experience, a planned divine experience. That's why I tell people that you got to drop the they. I drop the they because when you start seeing that everything lines up, everything that happens to you lines up with your chart. How can that be? The amplitude changes based on choice.
Yeah.
You will bump your finger or you will do something other with your finger depending on choice. I use the example, driving down the highway, 118 kilometers an hour with my brother and friend, going to see my son up north. And I was already starting the cleansing process, the healing process about 4 or 5 years ago. We came to a grinding halt in the traffic, but moving slowly, about 5 kilometers an hour, tires started going like this and then fell off. That's in the chart. If you're not good, it would have fell off at a different speed. That's how it works. We've left karmic vibrations in this dome that will find us no matter where we are.
Domain.
Chamber.
This domain.
And how much amplitude it has is depending on our choice. We've had a lot of leeway, but now with a brighter sun, everything's feeling the dielectric, the spiritual light, a lot stronger now. Hence why you have all these people waking up, which we now call it jumping into the wake. That steamship that Mother's driving now has got a great big wake.
Yeah, boats on the trail.
On the outside are us not cleansing, trying to get into the wake.
Yeah, when a boat travels, it leaves a pathway. When a boat travels through the water, the body of water, namely the sea.
Well, that's what was meant with, when are they going to wake? It's really, when are they going to jump into the wake? Right.
The turbulence. So that's, yes, there is. I call them, we know them, right? So let's just stop. There are family members, clansmans, initiates, as I like to call them, scribes, that know exactly what you're on about here. We namely call it luck. We've insulted the divine mechanics of the universe, the matrix, the flux fields of modality, aka, and we disregard them, and we've made it into, with our intellect, with our allegedly supreme intellect that we think that we seem to have when we don't. We've made these great universal occurrences into something mundane and trivial, partly to do with the narrative of the church and religion, partly to do with the establishment and the institutions at hand, and partly to do with the academia and the BS that spews out, and the coveting of the information that would lead us to get to, like the finding of Göbekli Tepe and things like this. So we then label these great coincidences as these great, we label these great events as just simple coincidences, luck. But there is no, you make your own luck, you manifest that. We often wonder, what is our purpose? Why are we here? And great leaders, thought leaders, spiritualists, theologists, theologians, and the ones that I've come across, I can't say enough good about the works of what I've found anyway, of Helena Blavatsky and Rudolf Steiner and Neville Goddard and some others as well. But those three are really at this moment in time teaching me about the veneration of self and the initiates, the initialization, how to get on this. And the universe, these fields of modality, when we break it down, the environment which we perceive is what we see, is not what is. And there are fixed, immutable laws in this universe that we as atomic beings respond to, and we have an electromagnetic system, hearts, brains, and atomic, and the subatomic interacts with us, and because it's invisible, we discredit it. And because of the narrative of the church, the establishments, academia, and certain things, we've had to go a long way to get to these points. So where you've mentioned about the tire, if you was a bad person and you was quite we'll say unconscionable in your executing of daily deeds, and you was a badass, then perhaps that tire would have failed at 100 kmh or something, and been a more serious event. But because you are the type of soul that you are, the failure happened at a lower, more manageable speed. And you're saying that is written in your charts. I find that a bit hard to believe, but I don't question it. I'm just saying I know how intricate it is and how unbelievable.
I'm finding so many things for so many people. It's crazy beautiful. It's divine. It's invigorating. It means that we are here for a reason. But the beautiful part is that we're all getting reeled out of it. That's the Holy Grail. The mothers come back. Everything you've experienced as a child is now going to happen spiritually. I'm not saying the exact same pattern, but discipline, doing right from wrong, timeouts, all those things are going to be before they give you some freedom. In this case, it's freedom with wings. In this case, it's the story of Icarus. We're going to get our wings. If you look at Icarus and Mercury, the difference between the two is they both have a circle, which is the all, which is everything. They both have the horns. That's a Taurus. That's the bull, right? Mercury's on a cross because he's the Akashic record. So that's the dyings on the cross. So infinite dyings on the cross. So he's the Ankh, basically, which is Venus with the Taurus bull. So he is the guy that keeps track of all of our lives, past, present, and future, till we get off. Icarus gets the wings, drops the cross. But the story of Icarus is he got his wings, but he flew too close to the sun, and the wax melted on his wings, or his wings melted, depends who's telling the story, comes crashing back down. This is what is upon us. With the brighter sun, we're going to get our manifestations quicker. Ding dong, Amazon's at your door within an hour. Okay, you can manifest what you want. People may say, well, no, that's because no, that is part of manifestation. Think about something and get it, which is increasing exponentially. So caution now, because with that, instant manifestation becomes instant karma. And I can see it happening with people, including myself. But they're all lessons and they're beautiful. Okay. So we got to be really, really careful with our new wings and our new manifestation ability on what we ask for, because we're supposed to let go of the materialistic way. That's what this lockdown is really about. Spirit's putting us in a lockdown. The whole event happened for 40 months. We're 17 months to go. That's the 40 days of fasting. We're still to go into a lockdown. We're just coming, we have 10 planets in retrograde right now, and people are wondering why things are happening to them. They all went in one at a time, like dominoes. And now all 10 planets are going to come out of retrograde one at a time, right next to each other. Who's talking about that?
You are.
When they finish, Isis, Eris, Madonna, Mictacawatl, the luminary in the sky, she goes back direct, which she marks the antitheric machine. She marks the calendar. She goes direct every January 11th. Well, wait a minute. Take out the 10 days that the Vatican, the calendar games that the Vatican did. She goes direct every January 1st. That's New Year's Day. That's a New Year's resolution. Why are we making New Year's resolution? Who are we making it to? We're supposed to be making it to the mother. We're supposed to be promising mama. She goes direct every January the 11th, which is really January the 1st. Think about that now.
January the 11th, the 11th of the 1st. That's another triple one I keep seeing.
But you got to take off 10 days.
Yeah, okay.
Because the Vatican added 10 days to the calendar.
I'm looking at the numerology of it all and the points. It's no wonder that we...
Yeah. It's really 1-1.
Yeah.
Right. So we are on something that is really, really, really cool. But we have to understand this path that we're on. We're going to get superpowers.
Supernatural.
Right. Just look at, could you ever imagine yourself doing what you're doing 15, 20, 30 years ago? No, right? Can you? Or were you doing it that long ago? No, but you're watching all these people, they're waking up. People are getting images, they can see things, they're healing powers. It's going rampant right now. It's all over. Everybody is getting endowed with this new sun that's coming. It's already starting. Eris, Isis, is coming into our top chakra. She's been in the Piscean age and now moving into Aries, our head. That's the story of the Santa Claustrum. The one that Santos talks about, but he always says about the Christ coming down. But it's Mary. It's Isis. She's coming into our head. She's checking to see if we're naughty or nice. That's the 7 scorpions of Isis. Go look it up. Go look it up.
7 scorpions. Wait.
Into our head.
Looking at the 7 scorpions of Isis, did you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Just to clarify.
The 7 scorpions, the 7 chakras. So she's been transiting in and out of Aries, our head, and then she aligns with the sun on April the 15th, 2023 at 0 point Aries. Now think about this. The word Eris is Aries without an A. Arise is Aries. Okay? You got Aries Zona, Aries in the sun, Eris in the sun, because that point where they're going to rise together is exactly the California coast. To which the last Phoenix rising is when we had a California island, because, like you said, everything, the Russian dolls, we are macro and we are micro, so is the lands. The lands map the stars. They never used to go around by a boat to measure everything. They didn't need to. They just mapped the stars to the 2D projection from the stars from off of the dome.
Sexton or whatever it is.
Sagittarius is Corona Australis, Australia. Leo, the lion, is Africa. When you put the Zodiac over top of the Gleason map, you see it all. Pisces and Aquarius are the Pacific Ocean. New Zealand starts the first land where you got the goat coming out of the fish and the goat coming out of the water. There's New Zealand, the first hunk of land when you start going around. China lines up with Scorpio. What do they got? They got tons of Scorpio. They eat scorpions over there, for God's sakes. Isis is Virgo, lines up perfect with Egypt. America is the head. Listen to the word America. The alpha, the sun. Mary, Ka. This Phoenix rising is going to be here. Mary and the sun rises here. It's in the name.
These things are.
I didn't come up with that one. Friend Marion, it was Marion, I believe, that did it. Marion's when that told me that one.
Mary, so Maryland, is it not a place in America called Maryland? Do I not remember? And Aries, I've looked at, as you know, many a word and cross-examined them, and diction Aries, constabularies, the Aries, and we've got a secret Aries, which are known as secretaries. So when I talk about how these civilizations and the the celestial worship or the knowledge, information that we seem to have forgotten influences our language as well. We use words with zodiac references in them, celestial references in them, but we don't see the significance, the sign. If I can see, you write down significance, this, you know, we don't see that, the sign, if you can see it or not, and it's in the language for a reason. It still influences modern day, I would argue, English and other continents' languages as well. So Aries is a particularly interesting word for you to have used there, because constabularies, dictionaries, secretaries, there's obviously other words that I'm failing to recall now with Aries in them, but it just goes to show you with what Claudio is saying, and why would we have the spellings and the uses for these, you know, and other words as well. If you look at chocolate brands naming their confectionery, there is a Mars confectionery, there is a Galaxy confectionery, there is a Starburst, they're all, it's everywhere. Once you start getting into this train of thought and you go about your everyday life with just, you know, a clear mind, things start presenting themselves to you and going, hello, look at me, look, you need to think about me, but you don't know why. And then later when you have chats like this, you're like, okay, star bars. And like I say, I'm not trying to advertise brands, but I need to help correlate down here, because Claudio is on about up above and the Gleason map and laying on and cross-referencing, and we do, you know, and together we can help bring, you know, the pieces and show that this is all, whereas some people might think, oh, it's not relevant, this is hokum, mumbo jumbo, this man's smoked too much, you know, whatever, and you're drinking too much, or you're on too many neurological pharmaceutical toxins. But that isn't quite the case. You know, there are dark arts amongst us. This is a long time game run by a set of families. They call themselves, you know, an elite, well, they're known as an elite bloodline, and they have contrived language, monetary mechanics, religion, and led us astray. We have, you know, wandered from the shepherd as a flock, if you want, and we've now come to ourselves to find the true path again. So it is kind of very, very relevant what you say there. I would say that we, as evidence of the shift point that Claudio was talking about, I would argue that we are in somewhat of a halfway point of Earth's evolution and of human evolution on Earth. And in order to suggest that we are sort of straddling the fence between the first half and the second half of evolution on Earth, and I know to some that could be billions of years. That's exactly what I'm referencing here, not 5,000 like we're led to believe. And in the first half, by and large, our primary task was to read the teleprompter, follow the cue cards of nature, within which our ancestors have clearly done, which the blueprints of the gods were somewhat embedded, with the help of some parental sovereign leaders, true sovereigns, true, you know, Christians, if you want, as a dreaming, sleeping, sub-sovereign group soul, children of humanity. And this is all changing now, and with our enthusiasm and our hubris of the rationalistic enlightenment period that we seem to find ourselves in, as Claudio has just highlighted, we started to presume or assume that with the full development of the intellect that we have everything we needed to qualify ourselves for the first time as junior or incipient creator beings. But I'll say consequently, we are surrounded by the creations of the intellect. The synthesis of nature is viewed as an intellectual second nature, and it's rapidly becoming obvious that we need something more than intellect, okay, to become true creator beings. We are more or less in the position of a rock star who has trashed the hotel room after the concert. You know, it was a good idea at the time, but now the bills just come in. We have to add the spiritual training, understanding, the communication and participation in spiritual realms in order to work as creator beings, which is why I've asked Claudio to come on and do something different, because this black and white contrast that this channel David SPLS Pro is doing needs this spiritual key factor. We're missing this, and we were looking to be co-creators with matter, moving up as initiates. So in esotericism, in Western esotericism, the first half of the Earth evolution is called the Mars-Earth phase, I believe. The second half is called the Mercury phase. So in the Mars phase, we have the descending arc of spirit, which entered matter, sometimes known as the fall. That's very relevant for American English, the fall, and the referencing of the fallen ones. And it requires making space in matter for spirit. And we have to use our elbows and knees and fight for the space. We have to kind of plant a flag at the top of that hill. It requires the Mars forces and passion and glue. So in the first half of human evolution initiates, we have, hard wrought, step-by-step, solid ground to stand on. Institutions that back us up, cultural integration and expectations that support us. And now all that is evaporating right before our eyes. It looks like, we say Babylon is falling and crumbling. All of that is going to the wind. And the Mercury phase is, we'll say, the alchemical phase. We have mental alchemy, we have chemical, physical alchemy. The alchemical phase, everything that's been glued together in the first half of that human evolution that I've just touched upon, on the recovery ascent to the descent of spirit and matter, in raising matter up to spirit now, the opposite of what I've just explained. We have to unglue everything that has been bound and glued and anchored in this straddling defense position, in the midst of sort of stepping in a psycho-spiritual quicksand as regards to matter. There's very little right now that we can rely on, and I'm going to yield there, because it's there is too much to mention there. We're redefining, transforming ourselves, meeting the challenges of the time. And another number, just to close down, synchronicity, that I keep hearing and seeing is 1s and 3s, 111 once every 130 years. Or 113 years variable. There is from what I've come to learn, Claudio, a double eclipse of Venus with the sun. That would be called the double transit of the sun, and it allegedly serves between the two. It develops an 8-year plateau between these two eclipses, and this 8-year plateau is known as like a germinal period for the initiatives in black and white magic. That it often takes the next century to unfold. And the last transit that I'm aware of that occurred, it was around about the summer of 2004, and it culminated in the summer of 2012, which, to close down, brings me on to the great Mayan 13 Bactun calendar, which is much touted these days. It began about the time of Kali, or the time of Kali Yuga began, 3100 BC. And even though, as far as anthropology and archaeology is concerned, they say there was no Mayan culture existent at that time. So this is another area. The Mayans, the Incas, the Aztecs interested me. The Mesoamerican tribes, and they were the ones that pointed me into the double Venus transits of the sun, and ending on transits of the sun in Mesoamerican culture. They timed and tuned all of their calendar culture cycles on the Venus, the Olmec, the Aztecs, all of them. So I'm going to leave it there, because that's it's limited knowledge that I have that I'm recalling to bring into what you're saying, brother.
Right. So what I found with all that, brother, is that just like there's thousands of settings in astrology, there's thousands of interpretations of the Bible. There's people trying to grasp why we're here, and they're gonna do all the things you just said, because they don't have the knowledge of Eris. You need to grab an app, brother. You need to do this, and don't get squirreled. Everybody needs to do this. Grab an app, set it to sidereal, 12 houses. Yeah. Sidereal, Lahiri, 12 equal houses, dilative, April 15th, 2023, Queenstown, New Zealand. And then from there, you can go back every 558 years, and you will see the mother and the sun rising at 0 point Aries in the east. And then you go look at all the monuments around the earth, and they're sitting on the line, on the longitudinal line of where it happened.
Oh, are they now?
So everybody's chasing everything else. Everybody's trying to figure out, oh, wow, this is all happening because Venus, it's the new moon, it's an eclipse, it's this, it's that, it's this, it's this, it's that. But everybody's missing the mark. The Da Vinci Code has been broken. It's simple. It's in plain sight. In plain sight. Sorry, the sight. That's freaking Sarah as the harvester, which we're going to talk about it in a little bit because that's important. The Temple of Isis is about that. The Temple of Isis is about the mother that comes back to save her son. We built that with that phoenix there, showing the first sun, the Mayan first sun. Well, we're on the fifth sun, and we have the proof of it. It's not the sixth. Nobody shows any proof of the sixth. They just say it's the sixth. And because people are well respected and well followed, everybody's spreading that it's the sixth. So just like Ken Wheeler always says, consensus is acceptable. Proof is not. So we have the proof to show you that this is the fifth time now, the fifth one. The first one was when we fell from Aries into Pisces. So we're only in 1/12. The Earth now and us, we're on the first 12th. Pisces going into Aquarius, the 11th, the second 12th. So we're in the first 12th. We're in the least amount of love phase. Mama's reeling us in. She spends 150 years with us. Oh, by the way, you can stay here as long as you want. This is a true rebirth in vivo, in this body, if you still choose.
Okay.
So you're going to grab that app, right?
They're asking in the chat room. Let me just pause a minute and say.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was waiting for you.
Yeah, they're asking what app was you on about? Can you spell that? Is what Kathy I think asked.
I missed that. What's that?
The app. What app are you on about?
The one I use is Time Nomad. Time Nomad. You got to be able to get sidereal Lahiri. Okay. You have to set 12 equal houses, and then you're all set. You'll have to spend $1.50 or whatever is $2 to get the extra luminaries, which has Eris. Eris in the sun, you'll see. Set it to Queenstown, New Zealand, Eris in the sun, rise in the east, April 15th, 2023. You dial back every 203,813 days, and you will get the last Phoenix rising, and it'll bring all the way back to when she does that into when we fell from Aries into the Piscean age. So that's what we did. We built those great pyramids for us, for our venture, for our journey through the Piscean age. The Bible is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's a guide. It's a guide for what's supposed to happen to us and what to do to prepare for what we're upon now. This 40 month of fasting is what we're supposed to do. And the guide is easy. We got the answers to the exam. It's the 42 spiritual laws of Isis. If you can't do those, you're not going to pass. So then you're going to see the karma. And I don't mean that to be in a lack of bravery mode, but people are going to ask why things are happening to them. And that's why. Your chart has these bumps in the road that you need to avoid. And if we're doing materialistic things that don't serve the greater good, then we get the little timeouts. So everybody's supposed to be doing a timeout thinking. Unfortunately, there's some few profit mongers that they actually thought that they could control this Piscean age by doing things that weren't good. But we got to love them, and I'm going to tell you why we got to love them. Because we were them in a past life. We
Yes.
played all those parts. We were the they. We were the rich. We were the profit mongers. We were the not good. We were the popes. Those are all our brothers and sisters are having their turn. And I pray for them because their karma. Because if they're doing this knowingly and are trying to fight so that they can keep in control, not going to be pretty.
Well, we've proven that certain establishments and institutions are doing things knowingly and have coveted information and hid information and filtered and edited and suppressed.
That's why I pray for them. That's why I don't talk about them. I just pray for them and just move on, because we have to be standing on the street corner and telling everybody, hey, time to wrap up. Mama's home. The cat in the hat's got to start cleaning up the mess.
Dream spell calendar I've got there as well. I've been looking at one. I found one through some people that I met. Galactic calendar. When I was looking at calendars, some people that I met recently.
If it doesn't show you when the Phoenix risings are?
No. I don't know. We look at yours.
That's what I'm saying. People are chasing. What are they chasing? We're upon what we're upon. Everything else, why are we chasing it? Not you, just in general, right?
Yeah, they've got different uses and applications. They're not all designed to do the same thing, but this is like a day, born day, and calendar, the galactic calendar. It's more of a true account of where we are rather than where we think we are. But your app has got that application.
We're 17 moons away from Age of Aquarius, bar none. She marks the calendar. She marks the ages. When you take 203,813 days that she does a Phoenix rising 4 times per age, you divide that out 558 by 203,813, you get the true sidereal number that nobody knows. There are, you know how many different sidereal numbers there are? Theories on the sidereal numbers? There's many. What a year? How many days in a year? 365.25. You know how many different versions there are? Lots. You use Eris, you get the exact one.
Okay.
And guess what? The Indians use that one. All of her different movements coming in and out twice a year. When she goes retrograde is when the river Nile floods. Who would have thunk? When Isis, Mary, Eris, whatever you want to call her, Madonna, goes retrograde, on July 21st, the river Nile floods. Why is that?
When you say the Indians use that, which Indians? Are you on about the Native American Indians or the...
I'm talking about the
East Indians. Yeah.
Right.
India itself. Okay.
Many of the cultures knew this. Everybody wants to find when the mother's coming back. That's why she's called... Eris is called the Lady of Discord and Strife because of the 7 scorpions of Isis. What kind of a god? No, it's not a god. It's your mother. You got to let go of God, man. God is a God. That's a glyph of you and yin yang. You're masculine and you're feminine because you have God manifestation powers. Yes, you are gods in training. And we just went through 2,000 years without love, and see now how did we do? We're getting the soap put in our mouth, in our eyes, our ears, because we didn't do good without love. And when you use the Platonic logic that Ken teaches, it can't be any other way. No one is exempt from being purified, being baptized, going to the age of Aquarius. It's impossible. Impossible. You can't, because our materialistic desires cannot drive us through the Mazzaroth. Because Orion must lead forth the Mazzaroth through the ages, which is in the Bible, right? And you split apart the word Mazzaroth, it's all there, brother. It's all there, from A to Z to Z to A. Both planetary, the stars, the way they process, and the planet's movement. It's all there. So it's simple. It's really, the answers to life are really simple right now, but we're stuck. We don't want to do a timeout. We want to go into trenches. We want to not go into trenches and just go do whatever we want. We want to do things, whatever we want to people, whatever we want to do to animals, whatever we want to do to insects, and disrespect Mother Nature, which is Mama, which is Venus, Venus is the mini-me of Eris. Look at the glyph. Venus is the Ankh. That's why you wear a chain with a cross on it, because it's a reminder. It's a breadcrumb of us being on an infinite dyings on the cross. That's why we wore this. That's why the Egyptian held the Ankh. That's why we're wearing this. This is the Ankh to remind us, to tell us to go look in Egypt to figure out that Mama's coming home. Well, we didn't do a good job of reading it till now, which is all by design. We've been given a blindfold, we've been given a cane, and we got to go try and hit the piñata.
It's not that we didn't do a good, because we are doing a good job now privately on our own. It's academia and the works of Sitchins, and so it's not just Sitchins, but going back to Mesopotamia forward, these civilizations that we've come to see rise and fall across time. They have left evidences, and we are finding that privately and with the help of private domains. But with regards to the mainstream academia, and like I said, the institutions and the establishments at hand, they have done a good job of leading us and usurping our energy, feeding off us from with some kind of flock. The flock kept by a shepherd. The shepherd keeps flock. Why? Because he wants to fleece them before slaughtering them. So that's kind of a system that we are going through, and we have died and been born again to some extent to get to this point privately, the ones that are in this realm with us. So yourself included, you've been resurrected, you've gone through an adult baptismal period where you've now become enlightened to this, and you are able to explain this and examine it and decode it, decipher it. And it's purely magical, brother. I thank you for this. It's brilliant. It's just what I needed, just what we needed.
No, it really, really is, because we can be more because you'll find freedom when you just sit back and go, oh, okay. You mean there's a spiritual mother that's going to come and give us a can of whoop-ass if we've not been good, and then give you your wings if you have been good? And it's you always have time. There's still time to change the road you're on, always, because there is no such thing as time. There's only now. We go to spirit world every night when we sleep. Every time we go around that clock, whether it's one day, 60 years, or the complete age of the cycles of the ages. So it's not like we don't have any experience going to the other side. We're there every day. Every heartbeat we're there, because we're coming in and out of the ether. The vibrations coming to us, this manifested illuminated body. I mean, Ken Wheeler's brilliant, man. He is absolutely brilliant. He's nailed it all.
Yeah.
He's nailed all the physics and metaphysics. I know he's starting to study the Egyptian portion of it, but he's missing the phoenix rising. And I'm trying to give him little, throwing him some baits, hoping that he'll take, because he's doing things that he shouldn't be doing if he knew. When you know that Mama's coming up the sidewalk and there's only 17 months left and you're doing things you're not supposed to be doing, you got to change. You don't have to go run into church. You don't have to pay anybody anything. You just got to stop doing the materialistic things that we're not supposed to be doing. Ask for guidance, because they give it. It's crazy, the guidance they give us. Crazy. It's absolutely invigorating. The animals, the insects, the clouds, the beepings of the horn, the people you meet, the little synchronicities that happen, they're all constantly happening. It's beautiful. And they will give you that guidance if there's something you need to let go. Everything that happens to you is a sign. If somebody's constantly in your face, it's not them, they're a reflection of you. When you start realizing that every image, every day, every second is designed for you. And if something is happening that something's pissing in your cornflakes, that's a sign. You gotta change something. I still get them all the time, man. It's like, okay, all right. Like I've quit many things. But I know there's still more.
Cornflakes, they're bad for you.
I don't eat cornflakes.
I know.
I'm vegetarian and organic.
Oh,
Sorry, not vegetarian, vegan. I'm plant. Let me rephrase that. This is easier because too many people put other things in there and they call it something different. Vegetarian was supposed to be only plants. That's what I do. I'm plant-based. Plant-based. Period. And if somebody says, if somebody out there is thinking to themselves, well, do you really need to be? The answer is really simple. Yes. Yes, you need to be. You can do it on your own time, but it's going to happen because the animals are getting lit up too. Every atom in Eve, is getting the new sun. They're getting it. This is getting illuminated because Mama's coming into Aries. She's coming down the chimney. Santa Claustrum.
yeah.
She's the Satan because she's Santa. Santa and Satan is the same word. The reason why somebody painted something different is because they get a can of whoop pass from all the shit they've been doing that's not right from her, because a mother does that. And my mother had the freaking the Shabbat, man, the freaking slipper and the wooden spoon when we didn't do something right.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting that spiritually now. 17 more months. She's coming up the sidewalk. She's been coming in and out of our head slowly and spending more and more time. Till April 15th, 2023, when the Phoenix rising, she's in our head to stay. How can that be? Coincidence? No. It's written all over the Dendera. It's in the Bible.
Yeah, and then you've got
I want to go work on something else right now. Well, that's the problem. Because you're not working on yourself.
Yeah, we have the
vibrating elf, right? The S elf.
The Mobius loop. Yeah, we've got the correlation of the years of allegedly when JC died at 33, the 33 spine, the chrism, the Christos, allegedly climbing up from, the bottom to the top, going to the spine with the cross at the back, going then 3 days sitting there, December the 21st, the sun stopping in position for 3 days, and the numbers that we find, and what you're on about there as well with regards to the Santa Claustrum and the correlations between words and how we've come. There are clues hidden in plain sight. If you look just enough, you can get that penny drop, right. Eureka moment, can't you? Yes, indeed.
So the Phoenix rising, go look it up in the Bible. I'm going to put it in just our words. We go without the sun for 3 days. Story of Jesus, sun, gone for 3 days. Well, yeah, because the story of Jesus was a Phoenix rising, the number one Phoenix rising, when we fell into fish age, Pisces, the fish, right? Jesus, the fish. So what happens is the Phoenix is rising from the ashes. The ice cores show that around that time frame, there's always volcanic eruptions. So are we going to see a volcanic eruption that's going to cover the whole earth and we won't see the sun for 3 days? And then it's going to clear? That's the story of the Phoenix rising. It all lines up. And it's in the ice cores from prior ones. So whether that's going to happen on this one or not remains to be seen. The reason why I want to study the Bible is to see because the Bible was written before that first sun, that second sun, that third sun, those Phoenix risings to where there was volcanic eruptions. The Bible will hold the clue if this next one, while we're going into the age of Aquarius, are we going to have another volcanic eruption? That's why we're studying volcanoes. We're seeing trends. We missed the mark on this one. An event did happen. Juno did cause an event. We thought it was going to be a volcanic eruption. But instead of being out, it ended up being in as hurricanes. Okay? So we're following that because everything that happens is in the chart. The natal chart of the Earth is where the stars were when Sirius was that 0 point between Gemini and Cancer. So that's the natal chart. The precession of the ages just makes the short circuit. And that's why we're seeing that a hurricane starts from over here and ends over there. because that's the natal position. That's the circuit. Twisting the ether that Ken talks about, the ether under torsion. Where you're in manifest, it's the ether under torsion. We're in loss of inertia. We're in a force which is lots of power. Power is in the seed. It can become a whole oak tree. It holds all the ether. It holds pure love. So we want to go and do the deep dive into the Bible to find out, are we going to have it? Because that's the Holy Mary. That's Hail Mary. The hail, the meteorites come from, and I've had synchronistic videos pop up in front of me where somebody is showing meteorites. I go look up, and then you see that there's a volcanic eruption. The meteorites are nothing more than volcanic ash. They're hail from volcanic gases. Let me rephrase that. The gases that condense, form rock, come to the ground. There's your meteorites. Hail Mary, full of grace. That story is about the rocks falling down, the stars falling from the sky. That happens from a volcanic eruption. The Bible has all that in there. So was it for sun 1, 2, 3, or 4, all the above, and number 5, or not? That's something we need to think about. Why are we going into lockdown? Why are we practicing wearing masks? If rising from the ashes and the volcanic eruptions are in every phoenix rising, proven in ice cores. So, what's Spirit trying to tell us? Stay inside your house. Only go out if you wear a mask. As above, so below is really upon us. Spirit holds the reign of every one of us, including the they that we don't like right now. But they hold their reins for us to get us our experience as a whole. Coming out of the Piscean age, being materialistic with the least amount of love. Now it's weighing of the heart ceremony. Okay, Libra. Is your heart as light as a feather? That's what's upon us. Are you sending love to the they? Because we were they at one point or another. So I don't like doing that because I'm going like this. It looks like I'm pointing to, like I'm pointing to Dave from, but I'm pointing way over. That. Okay, I'll go this way, that way. I'm pointing to Dave. So no, we were them. We were them. Now it's us. We're supposed to. I mean, we want to help all our brothers and sisters. Absolutely, we do. And everything we're doing and doing the law side of it, we're doing the as above, so below. We're fixing the law in the physical because the spiritual law is already here.
Metaphysical and the physical.
Going to meet in the middle. They're going to meet in the middle. So while we're making it meet in the middle, if you're destined to do that, it's fine. But just always picture the outcome being beautiful because you are a manifester. And just make sure that you do everything with love. If you're doing it because you want to get $1 million in the bank, then ain't the time. 100 years ago, okay. Today, nope. Nope. Because if you manifest, you'll get what you need. It'll just land on your lap. If you're doing all the things like you, brother, you're doing all the things that you're supposed to be doing. You're using love. And you have a loving team.
Yeah, it's the intent, what you put out there. There's the laws of attraction, isn't there? The powers of intent, but these aren't instantaneous, gratifications. There is a pathway, a journey, an initialization to become onto the path. And then once you get on that, then you have to prove yourself. There are immutable forces that are unseen at play. I'd argue that we're in a court every day of our lives and we're being judged by our daily actions and what we do, and that does have an effect on your fortune. You can be fortunate, but that fortune doesn't come because of luck as what we typically know it as. It becomes as what you reap, what you sow in some respects, yeah. And that's again, it's about translating all of this and then reading into why the Zodiac, the planets, the conjunctions, December the 21st, 2020 was an alignment, a celestial alignment that we've never seen before. The grandiose clock kind of aligning up, resetting. It goes to a cyclical cycle of, you know, and it does follow patterns. This environment and realm that we're in is far from understood. They claim to understand, and they give us certain theories of what they think, but these ancient civilizations often have more accurate, as I said, the Mayans and the calendar there, the timings, the events, the number correlations, the synchronicities, and then how we play that into understanding the realm around us. So it's fantastic.
Do me a favor. Show me the Phoenix rising in the Mayan calendar. I can't find it.
All right. No,
I'm not saying it's not there.
Yeah.
But I'm sticking with just the Egyptian one because it has everything we need. That somebody pick up from Egypt and go over there and start their own thing, because, you know, let's face it, there are many people out there that are doing all kinds of different things and are creating this wake that people are jumping in that hopefully ends up meeting back into the middle. But that's what happened with all these cultures, the separation when we went into the age of Pisces, all in the different lands. The Egyptians, I mean, what I see in Egypt, and then did the Mayans follow the second sun, and that's why they're calling it the sixth? Don't know. That's where we're going back in history if we want to find that stuff out. I don't do that anymore because I already know that the Phoenix rising is upon us. We have all the proof. We're making videos. We're creating groups of people that can study this together. The thing is that the knowledge is already there. The end game is upon us. If we want to dabble in doing other things, we'll just make sure that you're sticking with purifying the self, because that's what's really upon us right now. Everything else is in your Akashic record to make you stay. That's really important. When you get squirreled, it's in your Akashic record to stay.
Squirreled, yeah.
Are you following me?
Yeah.
When we get squirreled, I watch it all the time. When I start trying to help somebody with a discussion it's leading down that way and they're interested, all of a sudden somebody will come and interrupt, and then they leave. That's Mercury saying, I don't think you're ready yet. So if you can catch yourself being squirreled, then you'll know, oh, wait. No. I don't want to stay on that infinite cycle, dying on the cross and coming back, losing my memory, coming back as a child and wearing that karma. I want to pay my karmic debts now and be enlightened, and stay or not stay up to me. That is the power and the promise that we have. They used to live many rounds around the Zodiac. That's because you chose to stay so you can try to enlighten people. That's where I'm trying to go. I offered up, yeah, I'll stay. The only reason why is because I had kids. And if you have kids, you're supposed to be teaching them. You got to play the mother that's come to save their son. Because if you're not teaching your kids, they are you and you are them. They're that fiber optic line, the DNA, that ladder is infinite. It's tied. So the only way, the true way for you to exit without karma is your kids need to be enlightened. I got a lot of work to do.
Illuminated, yeah, definitely.
I got a lot of work to do because the old me is the one that trained them.
Yeah. You've got the Greek references too, though, with regards to the Phoenix rising. You know, you've got the Greek connotations with it as well. Not just the Egyptian, and in Alexandria, Egypt, we had
Stephanie.
Persians, Egyptians, Christians, you know, possibly Muslims, lots of different types. Egyptians all studying at the library, you know, in Egypt, and bringing things together there. So there's a lot of civilizations that share like we have with Thoth, Hermes Trismegistus, and then Thoth in itself. Ancient legend paints a picture of a magical bird, somewhat, radiant, shimmering, lives for several hundred years before it dies, and then it dies by bursting into flames, and then it becomes reborn from those very ashes to start a new long life. In essence, it's this powerful symbolism. It's often used as a motif, an image, in culture and folklore. I'm not saying it isn't, relevant and prevalent. The majestic phoenix, a bird, much like an eagle or a peacock. An eagle is obviously substituted. It's one of the scribes put, beware of the eagle when he was talking about them, in itself. But
this represents the phoenix rising, the Bennu bird. This is what the Egyptians called one of their staffs, the waz stick.
Yeah.
It's an actual branch. A buddy of mine who's
Bennu, yeah,
gives me synchronistic
Thunderbird.
messages from spirit without knowing it.
Known as a thunderbird as well. The thunderbirds, the totem pole, the Americans, the Native Americans, the Egyptian Bennu. The Greeks named it the phoenix. Phoenix, I'd argue, would be a Greek spelling of that. The Greeks called the Canaanites like the Phonites, or Phoenicians as well. We've got the Phoenicians, the definitions might have derived from the Greek word phoenix, meaning crimson, I think, or purple. Symbology of the phoenix is closely related. So we could go back to Phonetica. The original text of the Bible was written in Hebraic text, and that Hebraic text was obviously, I would argue, phonetic. So the Phoenicians, iPhone 10, phone, and phone, PH1. It's not, it's PHOEN, if I recall with my dyslexia, but PHONE, and IX are Roman numerals, X is 10, so I before X, so you've actually got IX is actually going to be 9, but phone and phene and phone are the same letters, just in a different order, to be fair. But
so the letter P is sitting, the letter P and Q, which are opposite each other. Okay, the queen and the princess, they're at Virgo. When you wrap the letters around the right way, the P and the Q, rightfully so, are aligned with Virgo. All right. So the P, and then you got the H. Well, the H we know is the throne that she sits upon, which that throne is right there in the Dendera, right there at Virgo. Okay. So the H represents the 8th letter, which is infinite. So it's again, your infinite crossings through that throne into this materialistic world. The mother sits on the throne. The best way for a mother to have a baby is in that sitting position. And they show that on the Egyptian walls. So when you start taking every letter and putting an image to it, now we have the key to success. Because we speak in Babel. The spoken word comes from here. Because this image brings your reality. The words, man has put images that aren't good associated with a word. That's a spell. Okay? Because it's Babel. Because we should never let an image come into this mind, this nothing. Again, got to protect that child within. Don't watch TV, don't watch shows, don't let anybody show you an image that you shouldn't see. Because what you see becomes your manifest. What you see will attract to you, law of attraction. As you get your manifestation skills more and more every day over the next 17 months, which goes into age of Aquarius, you're going to be like, oh man, I got my wings, man. I can do whatever the hell I want. Again, we got to be careful. So we speak in Babel. It's the fall of Babylon. We're going back to images again. We're going to be able to read each other's minds, which makes a great level playing field. You can only tell the truth if somebody can read your mind. You can read somebody's face. You can't read their mind. But you know what? You can start reading people's mind. We're starting to think about each other and calling each other. It's happening more and more. How can an animal show up right at the right time? They knew you were going to be there. They can read your mind.
Animal synchronicities, you mean? You've had a few of those, haven't you, as well? Yeah, that's yeah.
Every day now, at least 10, 20 times a day. Because when you start noticing that everything is for you, and you go look up what the meaning of that encounter means, man, they line up like clockwork. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
You've touched on the Egyptians, and I'd like to look at, I've looked at, why I'm mentioning the Mayans is just because of the calendar that interested me alongside Adam's calendar, and we'd obviously got the Gregorian calendar, and I'm looking at time and know thyself and certain things, Aristotle, Socrates, Plato, all over the place. But I just like the South American Peru type worship of, I'm fascinated by worship of the sun. And when Josh came along and we were speaking to Brother Benacci about monosibyllic and monotheistic religions, and worshipping of something that they knew provided life and energy to themselves. The cultures, sun worship was or is known to be commonly associated with pagan religions, much less common than most people think. Major religions revolved around the solar cyclical cycles, like for instance the Christianity and Judaism. Very few actually consider the sun to be a god, a deity, or anything worthy of worshipping. Science is good at telling us what something is made of, but it won't tell you what something is. Like, they will get an animal and they will dissect it and tell you what it's made of, but they won't tell you, what it actually is. They'll look at the sun and they'll allegedly tell you what it's made of, but they won't tell you what it is, or how it actually performs and functions. Science is very good at doing certain things, but it's very weak at doing other things. It doesn't tell you what it actually is for or what it is. It just tells you what it thinks. It only has a limited form of explanations for certain things. It's often quite empty. Ancient Egyptians were probably the most sun-worshipping culture, as I've come to find. They personified it into the sun god, which was called Ra, was it not? Amen Ra, who was merged with Horus at some point in their existence, and that became the dominant god in Egyptian religion, and that was said to be the creator of all forms of life. Ra is an interest to me. Ra had many different depictions. His most common form was that of a man with the head of a falcon and a disc resembling the sun on its head. This symbology is something that I've taken a particular interest to, and the glyphs, and before Egypt as well, but how they've gone forward from, and the language that you've just said there, the hieroglyphs could be interpreted, and depending on your knowledge, you would read something from that image, but somebody else with different knowledge could read into that a different, meaning to that. Ra, the most popular sun god amongst the ancient Egyptians, and the Egyptians, for instance, they would worship different cults, worship different variations of him. So not even Ra was set into stone, pardon the pun, with the hieroglyphs being in stone, but the Egyptians worshipped Aten, a god which was depicted simply as a sun-like disc that was often shown with multiple rays coming out of it, which became, known as to be a disc with rays being beamed down upon the earth. You've got the rebirth of the sun in the Bible, the Romans coming along 9th century BC, and then the interface with the Egyptians there, and then the canonization of the New World Testament in the 4th century CE, as opposed to, it just gets, interesting for me as I've gone through the timelines when you're talking about and you're stemming on the Phoenix there. I am aware of that and the different correlations between the cultures. But I've gone before that as well, and I'm just mentioning in timeline perspectives, the accuracy the knowledge. The Dogons, aside from the Mayans and the Aztecs and the Incas, the Redskins, the Mesoamerican cultures, the Dogons, the Africa is a very, very interesting continent, and Sirius Palladians, Sirius A, Sirius B, and all of that there, that's another show in itself. But regardless of which deity the ancient Egyptians worshipped, all of them, you know, represented the sun. It is apparent in some way. You look at the Indo-Europeans, and the sun was one of the most popular deities amongst Indo-European peoples before this mono, you know, mono is one, isn't it? So monotheistic, one God, whereas before there was Elohim, gods, going back to the Phoenicians and the Hebraic text there, and there was obviously maybe three lords depicted in the Bible, but one creator. So the Indo-Europeans, the sun, what was I said, was one of the most popular deities. Among those, before this Egyptians and the mono, it was Akhenaten, I believe, that made Aten, and going through that type of era from many to a singular, we'll say monotheistic for want of a better word. Jordan Maxwell talked about this some years ago. I watched a presentation by him on this, and he corrected certain things that I can't recall now, but that need to be added there. But Hinduism is the god, I think Surya represented the sun and is glorified as an all-seeing god who sheds light on both good and evil actions. He was said to get rid of darkness as well as evil dreams. Romans worship the sun, you know, and they obviously, if they conquered Egypt, then they are known to be not honest, conscionable, integral types. But the worship of the sun became very important among Romans during the later periods of the Roman history to what we've found. It's even ended up leading to what many historians have referred to as solar monotheism, which in other words, almost complete worship of the sun. So all of the gods during that period had solar-like qualities. Even Jesus had acquired the traits of popular sun gods. The feast of Sol Invictus, I think I'm recalling, the unconquered sun, was a popular tradition celebrated on December the 25th by many in the area in that time period. That was until it was replaced by what is known as Christmas by the Christians. And we'll leave that there. The Native Americans, indigenous people of America, including, you know, North, Central and South America. That's where I focus with the documentaries, Peru, the Nazca Lines, and what I've mentioned previously. They all extensively, Timo Punko, there's too many names that I can't pronounce that are trying to come to my forefront there, but they all extensively worship the sun before the European colonialism, is it? The sun dance carried out by the Plains Indians of North America. That's one of the most well-known and popular ceremonies, the rain dance, the sun dance revolving around the sun, and carried out at the end of the winter. Those totem poles and the Hopi tribes and certain things to do with that. You know, it's all very similar, but just a different tweak on it. And, you know, the pre-Columbian civilizations are talking about living, I don't know, Mexico and Peru. Again, sun worship, most prominent features of their religion, the Aztec sun gods. And they obviously, Mel Gibson, Apocalypto, the human sacrifice, if you've seen that, it's quite shocking, isn't it, where you can end up and what you can find out. But I'm interested in all of this, and the projection of the future that you talk about as well, that can be possibly attained from this, the cycles that repeat and the events to come, is just truly fascinating, because that's one thing I'm incapable of doing, looking forward in most respects.
So just to clarify, they didn't worship the sun. Consensus says they were worshiping the sun. No, on the Egyptian walls, those are you as the sun, okay? And They were showing you on your 36 decans, the 36 different roles you will play as the sun, and what you have to do during those roles as the sun. They worshiped the mother That's why the American Indians, the Native Americans, they have the white buffalo calf woman, that the lady in the clouds, the lady in the sky that had the white buffalo. There's many albinos they're supposed to be showing up, which there are, when you have the Phoenix rising. Okay, there's going to be more clues that way, which they're already starting to show up. Many clues. That's just one of them. So that's consensus is dangerous, because unfortunately, although I've gotten so many keys from Egyptologists, they have a key, but they are misinformed about what's written there.
Well, it was like
those aren't phonetics on the walls.
Polytheism. So if we're each one gods, then that would be why they changed the, is it polytheism into
God is you.
Polytheism. Yeah, that's
God. G-O-D is a yin yang.
By that respect, there are many gods, which is why there was polytheism then, and then the changing, the narrative changing. As I said, I think it was the 18th dynasty. I think Pharaoh Akhenaten temporarily changed that polytheism. As of you're saying there, the interpretation is wrong, and they're saying that they worship the God, when the actual true account is that we, as it is written in John and Psalms, and that have I not said that ye are all gods created in the image. Jesus was a son of God, not the son of God. So the Egyptians said,
so everybody that's listening, you are one of the 7 billion gods here right now that have the ability to manifest.
Love you. Mama's
home to see how you did with your little bit of wings without love. What did you create what did you create during your last, how many lives were you here for the last 2,000 years? Do the math, man. If you were 100-year average, that'd be, what would that be? 20 lives? How many lives is 2,000 years? 50 is 40 times, right? Am I doing that right? No, that's not right. Yeah, 50 is 40 times.
Well, yeah.
So anyway, lots of times. We were all those gods already. We're coming around again. We're like, okay, I'm going to get it this time, Mom. That's what we're upon. And those that are following that there's gods worshiping, those that are following that's for the afterlife that's written on the Egyptian walls. No, it's not. It's about your life now. And now there's no such thing as time. So, and what's now upon us is, how'd you do? The exam's upon you. Come on, sit on my lap. Tell me everything that you've done. Notice all life's flashing before your eyes, and we're not dying, because we're going through a Phoenix rising, means a rebirth while alive. Go look up the definitions of Phoenix rising. It's rebirth while alive.
Yeah, it's like a adult baptism, as I've pointed out, or something. You must die to be born again. Yes, as it's pointed out in many, same story, different cultures. Yeah.
The beauty part is we're infinite. We're infinite, and we're loved. But we got a mother that's going to make sure she washes her mouth out with soap if you need it. We're speaking babble. We got to stop speaking babble. We got to only say words that paint good images, or else you're spreading a virus. If you're spreading an image that's not good, you're spreading a virus. You're contaminating somebody else's now. You're doing law of attraction to them.
Defilement of the mind, as they say in the Eastern philosophy, the mind has been defiled, but sometimes it's by accident and without meaning, when that's okay, I suppose, and then you learn by your mistakes. That's how one grows, so that's not so bad. But on purpose, narrative, intentionally, then defilement of the mind on purpose is not good. No. A lie told once, is a lie. But a lie told on a network will leave the names out, but mainstream media 100,000 times becomes the truth, doesn't it? Yes. Or in not just a lie, an inaccuracy, we'll say, because, yeah.
we were shown that we can be deceived. Spirit deceived us intentionally. We get tempted intentionally. Temptations for those that had it in their chart get stronger. Lilith in Scorpio and Taurus.
I'm off, Lilith. See ya. Yeah.
Like I know people, and soon as they do something that they shouldn't, instant karma.
Oh wow.
So here's an ant crawling over here. He's telling me to get rid of a volcanic eruption. I know he is, because the ants have their antennas, and that's why it's ant RAs. Right. Anyway, yeah. I just can't stress enough. You don't have to go to church. This is the temple. Okay, you don't have to go anywhere. You got to clean this temple. You got to be good, and you don't spread images or words that paint not good pictures. Best advice. Your life will be changed immediately if you can do that. Just that simple thing. Don't speak babble images with bad. They produce bad images, and don't share bad. Sorry, not good images. I don't really like using that word. So if you can do that, man, your life's going to change.
Incredible. It really is. I've really enjoyed this chat. The chat room is absolutely alive, Claudio, on Indiglo. There's a lot of comments, and I couldn't read them all out now, but I want to say thank you to all the scribes. Thank you all. They're enjoying this, and yeah, they're not out cavorting, dancing, fornicating, out of all orifices, coming liquids in the typical Saturday night experience there with alcohol and music. But thank you for joining, scribes, and thank you for the input. I will check this out later on, and it looks like it's well received. We've got thumbs up galore, a lot of comments regarding the content. Too much to read, my man, but when the video's been encoded, then you'll be able to look back and see what they're talking about with regards to the topic tonight. Yes, have you got anything that, can I ask you all right then, let's just pause a moment. And why did you, or how is it that you started on this pathway? When was it, and how did you start to get interested in this science? Yeah.
When my father first passed, I started seeing numbers like crazy. When my mother passed, when she passed, her eyes were open. I looked right down into her holes, right down into the ether. And man, I talked to her, and I talked to her, and I tell you what, the signs, I could talk for hours on the signs. We are infinite. We are loved. All right. And then ever since then, I went outside. I saw synchronicity. Somebody says, go out and look up to the sun and said, I have intentions of bringing heaven on earth. Please give me the wisdom and the knowledge so I may fulfill my intention. And bang, next thing you know, Ken Wheeler, Santos Bonacci, I started waking up in the middle of the night. I see animals. Next thing you know, I look up, there's the moon behind the clouds clear up, and then one at a time, the clouds go by in the shape of a zodiac sign. 3 times the image of the woman, the winged woman in the sky, 3 times came to visit me. There was no message. There was no aha, other than that I pull up my app and go, holy shit, Eris is behind there. So they're presenting themselves to you in the clouds. Everyone is the chosen one. There's 7 billion chosen ones. You should feel like the chosen one. You should act like the chosen one. And you should be Orion leading forth the Mazzaroth through the ages.
Yeah.
It's expected of you. So when you start getting all these signs, you go, oh, shit. But everyone is. You're just not. You're either getting squirreled or you're too deep in what you're doing. And, a friend of ours, we're in Aruba, like 3 years ago. She goes, I never get any signs. Nothing at all. An hour later, she starts telling about how her cat jumped when she's watching TV. Her cat jumps on her lap, stares her right in the face. She moves, the cat goes like this. She moves, the cat goes like this. I said, Do you think that's not a sign? She goes, oh my God, I guess that would be a sign. I said, yeah, the cat's telling you to stop watching the TV. Like, come on. You can't, you're not gonna get any signs on that TV, okay? They're gonna do all your manifesting for you. They're gonna put images in your head, and they're gonna track to you what they want. Right. So Stick's saying it best.
What is it that you like about this? Why? What keeps you? Because, like, for me, the I don't know, the exposure of what I do and how I come to find these many areas and culminate them into one topic that can interest mankind for their spiritualism. You know, fighting against legal, lawfully finding remedies to legal issues and pointing out religion, money, language, and certain things like that. So, what is it for you that you enjoy about it that keeps you, you know, persevering?
The magic. The magic.
Yeah.
So I'll show you one quick story of synchronicities. We go to pick up this bus, to which, by the way, everything was happening with it, and we weren't getting it. And we knew it's going to happen in the divine timing. We got it from Waits RV. Great bunch of people, but you have to wait. It's right in the name. I knew I was going to be going to that place in 2010 when I first drove by it. I just knew it, right? I knew, and I have all kinds of deja vus of being here. But anyway, we pick up that thing. He's showing us around, give us the tour of what you got to do, right? It's a 2007, so it's got little creaks in it, right? Blemishes, we got to fix them. But he lifts up this one grate and says, okay, and here's the axis, and there's its frog in there. I got no idea how that frog got in there. We pull up to this parking spot a week later, because it still had some issues. We still couldn't go. We had to bring in somebody else. They took care of it. But we pull up to this place. We go to plug in. There's a frog in there. Kathy wakes up another morning feeling all these energies, not having the best sleep, and not, you know, kind of not feeling good. She comes over. She sits down. There's a frog up on right on the window. I go on the Unity Spirit group and have a discussion talking about synchronicities. There's a frog. And I'm over by getting a Wi-Fi because I couldn't get it from here at the time. I'm over by this astronomical observation, by the way. I don't know what they do there, but it's always closed. And here's a frog. Here comes a frog coming across. So I'm doing a Zoom with all these Unity people, right? Discussing what we're going to do for this new year. I just got accepted to you know, do my own little thing. So I go to take my phone out because I wanted to take a picture of the frog to show that synchronicity that just happened, because when I read on the screen what frog meant, it totally related to what we were talking about. So I said to the frog, I said, wait a minute, because he moved and he left. I said, hey, wait a minute. Why didn't you sit still for me to take a picture? You know what the frog did after about 30 seconds? He puts his arm on the rear view mirror and poses and stays there. I got as close as I wanted to take a picture of the frog. That's what keeps me going. Oh, because spirit's talking to you every single day. When flies land on you, you go like this, they don't move. You put your finger right there, they jump on your hand, they start crawling on you, and they hang out with you. Dragonflies are doing it. Dragonflies come in here. Kathy goes, oh, come on, you're just a little baby, come on out. She puts her hand out, dragonfly jumps on her hand. Carry them out. They're training us. We talk to them like they're little kids. No, those are spirit. When you start seeing this in everything and in other people and watching them, that's the magic. That's what keeps me motivated. That's what keeps me wanting to share it with people in these times where you need the magic to know that the love is there, that you are loved, that you are infinite. So take a breather, sit back. I know everybody, well, I got this, I got that, I got to go to work. Ask for guidance. Ask for help. Watch how it comes. But watch the signs. If you want money, then it's going to make you chase money. If you want the love and everything else and say, I want you to take care of me, it happens. It does. So if it doesn't happen for you, it means you need to be where you're at, because you need to be sharing a vibration with those around you. Like I can imagine, Dave, where you're at, you're talking with people, you're that tuning fork, right? You hit a tuning fork, the other one vibrates. Yeah. So when you're pure and you're in the presence of others within 6 feet, you're going to cleanse them. That's the sympathetic vibration. That's why one cleanses another. It's nothing to do with a virus. It's you vibrating your cleanse tells this mind, hey, you should do it before planets do it for you. Because when they come, there's no choice. You could get hit real not easy on your cleanse. Because every cleanse is in your chart. I do my own. I went back and looked at surgeries and everything else. They're in your chart. 100%. No ifs, ands, or buts. When you do it and you can then start predicting the market downturns, which I've done 3 times, and I don't go near there anymore. I just wanted to prove to myself that I could do it. You know you're using the right astrology. Well, we know we're doing the right one anyway because we're lining up with the Phoenix risings. And we're able to start look at the synchronicities of major weather. The only thing we did wrong was Juno was in the as above instead of the as below. Sorry, it was in the as below instead of the as above. So it's the passion comes with just seeing the magic. If you can keep seeing there, see that little fly coming here?
Yeah.
He just landed on my finger. He came and went boop, boop, boop on my head. Look at it. He's right there.
You was talking about a fly earlier, though, the synchronicity, the frogs and the flies.
And he wanted to see, there you go. So he wanted to show you the synchronicity.
Wow. Oh.
But the fly is goes nowhere. When a bird starts coming and landing on there and a squirrel comes to try to, squirrel is supposed to make you happy. Squirrel comes jumping into your life when you're not feeling good and it starts doing all these funny things, makes you laugh. They do it at the right time. So that's what keeps me going. I'll stop right there because I could go just for hours on that because it's invigorating.
I know you love it. You do love it as well. What I want to do is say that I'm going to share in the video details. I'll put a link to your channel. I'd like to have you back. We want to talk about various aspects of human rights. We're going to go to Confucius, Asia, and forward into modern times. But I don't want to ruin this topic. We promised we'd stay on topic and keep the about an hour and a half, 2 hour window. So if we've done that.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
It's flown. It's absolutely flown, and it's been brilliant. With regards to star charts and things, then do you write your own? Do you get others to help you with this? How do others look at seeing? I've had one done. There's a brother called Lyndon, whose wife, I forget her name, her calling, should I say? Calling. Names are for companies. I forget how I need to say it, but I can't remember it. She did me some readings, and they was incredibly accurate from when I was little all the way up to present man. And when I was in Greece with my mum, one of a shaman come to speak to me, and he got up and he moved away. It was my mum's friend, and I was sat outside my mum's apartment. And after a bit, he went to see my mum. He goes, your son's got some issues he needs to deal with, and his energy is too powerful for me. And he said he'd never come across such a, I'm not just saying this, it's actually happened. He said there's something, he needs to address things, but he's got a very powerful aura and issues. And I've met some people via email, but I've only ever met one person that was able to do, shamanic type readings and feel energies. My mum's a Reiki healer, so this is not foreign concept to me. She hangs around with those types, and she pointed out I needed to have a chat with him. And when I had a chat with him, what he revealed made him cry. So I want to know, with you and your circles, have you got anything that others, my scribes and others can have a look at, go to, and can you explain about chart readings then as we close down, please?
Sure. The way I see charts is, somebody can be intuitive and give you the answers that you're looking for, right?
Yeah.
So you don't need an astrologer to tell you something because the answers are everywhere. But your chart is your labyrinth of the snakes and ladders. Again, it's based on amplitude, right? So when somebody says to me, can you tell me when this will happen? Well, I can tell you when it might happen, but I don't know if you've been good or not. Because there's a billion combinations in there. Now, what I can do is you say, okay, you keep a log. This has happened to me on this date and time. This has happened to me at this time, and I need to know why. I'll find why. I'll tell you exactly why. 100%. So when somebody does a chart for you and you pay them some money, I don't get that. Because you could be good or not good the next day, and your chart's going to be totally different after that because you've now chosen a different path. So what I say to people, you don't have to learn if you don't want to. I'll do your chart for you. I charge nothing because that's my passion. But just know that you're not going to get like instant answers. You can in some aspects, because if it's meant to be, then I will articulate the answer to you. That happens many times. But it all depends what you really want to find out. But if there's something that is not good with you and you need some answers, you can ask for guidance. You can also ask us, right? So when I say us, it's going to be me doing it. But when I say us, it's because I've learned from so many people, right? And I've stayed away from consensus. I now go with what is meant and given by guidance. Because the luminaries wake me up at night to give me a lesson. Believe it or not. It's crazy beautiful. I was missing Juno. I didn't have Juno. And that's when I saw it was Juno represents Mary Magdalene. You got two Marys, Eris and Juno, in the current naming convention that NASA uses. Okay. That's Isis and Nephthys. That's Mary and Mary the Virgin and Mary Magdalene, or Isis, Eris, and Juno. I was missing her. We were in Aruba. I looked out the window and there was the winged woman. That's the second time I had the winged woman. The first time was Mother Mary. This time it's Mary Magdalene. I was missing her in my charts because I was trying to figure out why I was having these problems with my kidneys and my back pain, which ended up leading to me knowing I was going to have something happen to me. I knew when. I just didn't know what. And then revelation happened. I got shingles right when I predicted. And Juno does shingles. Juno does skin eruptions and volcanic eruptions, because a volcano is eruption of the earth skin. So there are things that we can look at, but it can be a time process. It's like a doctor. A doctor reads your chart. Well, that was the Greeks used to read your natal chart. And when you went with them with a dis-ease, that's when they were able to help you, not say, let's look into a crystal ball, what might happen to you. They'd have to know you to do that. If I knew you from a long time, then I can tell you, because I've done that with friends. Hey, brother, you need to do this and you need to prepare because I know this can affect you. And I've done that. But I need to know the people because you know their vibration. So in order to do it right, somebody needs to get to know you.
Yes, I get that. All right, thank you for that. That's good to know. You put that in a very clear and concise way as well. And I have one question. I'm sharing your Claudio Silvaggi YouTube now, just as we're chatting. And in Greek, you mentioned Aries, as you say it with the accent, but Ares in Greek mythology is the god of war. And you're speaking for clarity. You're speaking of a different Ares, aren't you? Aries. Yeah. Can you spell this and just explain that?
Well, the one that NASA uses is Eris, E-R-I-S.
E-R-I. So that's a third one that I've learned then. All right then, yeah.
Right. And
yeah.
Aries is the goddess of war because she's the goddess of discord and strife because she comes to kick your ass. Your seven chakras are being cleansed. Why? Okay, in the Wizard of Oz, there was two witches. The black one that wanted to kick Dorothy's ass, and the white one. The white one is manifest, is here. White light means you're in manifest. If you pass, you don't go to the white light. You come back here if you go to the white light. There's another thing people got backwards. The dark is pure. The black one is the good one. But she kicks your white ass because you're not good. If we were perfect, we wouldn't be here. So thanks for that. It's all good.
No, I wanted you to explain that. Yeah, that's brilliant. No, I'm looking at, it says I'm screen sharing, so I'm looking at your Utemi channel with the icon there, and then Claudio Silvaggi, and then I've got a list of videos up there. And then you can see, I'll put this in the details as well. So yeah, Juno and Mars keeping it real. Notre Dame Cathedral fire, signs everywhere.
That's important now, because you just reminded me. So
go on. Thank you.
After all the planets come out of retrograde and into January, the black moon, which was responsible for the Notre Dame fire, okay, the black moon and Sereth, the harvester, the grim reaper, are going to control the chart. That means all the planets are on one side of the north and south node of the moon, and they're the only ones there. First, it was Juno, Mary Magdalene. Then it was Vesta and Hygeia. And now it's going to be Black Moon and Ceres. So expect a lot of people changing, because they're going to get some very deep, deep signs, spiritual signs. So that's going to happen for the next round, next year, before we get to the final year of 2023. So Ceres sits right there in Libra, right before, at the weighing of the heart ceremony, before you go into the underworld. If you look at the Dendera Zodiac, you'll see Ceres there.
Okay, brother.
So
I'm trying to just put the link into the chat room. I don't know what's happened. I've lost my channel. I've got too many screens open. That's what's happened. Is there anything you want to say about what you've seen for happening in the future time then? What was you saying to me at the beginning? That was interesting. Yeah, you said.
Yeah, well, just what I just said now, man. That's important.
There we go.
Again, it's showtime. It really is. It's showtime.
17 months, you said, yeah.
The physical, there's only two dimensions, in and out, as above and so below. The physical is squirreling you from doing what you should be doing to get off of your path. Everybody says, it's my path, I'll live it. Yeah, but your path is just going to bring you back. The question becomes now, how many times do you want to come back?
Yeah, we need to ascend now. We're looking for ascension. Once you've learned the lessons and you've done the jobs that need to be done, and then instead of being recycled and in that perpetuality, we're going to start to ascend energy in itself. Yes, this is what I like about the spiritualism, the Billy Graham, the true meaning of the cross, and the works of Steiner, and the spiritualism of Blavatsky. That's just fascinates me, if this is to be taken as the Tibetan Buddhism, the things in there, the canons of Tibetan Buddhism, and spirits and souls, consciousness and matter, syncretism, this atomic, subatomic you and I verse that we're in is not what we see. What is not what's there, and the lessons that we learn, the missions that we go on, the sacrifices that we make. It's incredible. Yes, I can say that this time around, I think that I've stopped and paused, and it's not what you do for yourself, it's what you do for others that then helps you do for yourself, isn't it? So like you've said there about readings, and you can help, and that would be interesting. We'll keep you in mind for that. You might get inundated with that. Have you got something on the networks or any domains you want to share where people can find you other than YouTube? You said something about Facebook and a group, or is there anywhere you've got an outlet, have you not? I've seen you posting on around that you've got another portal or two. By all means, mention them, please, brother.
Yeah, that's it's called Metaphysics in the Bible. It's a Facebook group. You can find it on my YouTube channel. My Facebook. It's just my name, Claudio Silvaggi. We're just going to be sharing synchronicity. The people that are joining from, because I'm in another spirit group, right? They did a book on spiritual law, so I was with them for 2 years. And the synchronicities in that group is so unbelievable. So it's just an open door. Anybody can come. You can just listen. You can participate, whatever you want. It's just, we know when you open a door, people come in synchronistically that have to. And if you show up, there'll probably be somebody else that you need to hear talking. And everybody's just going to synchronistically grow together. And basically, we're going to start talking about the different messages that are in the Bible that will help us. Not the way the churches teach it, but what is happening upon us now based on all the physics and metaphysics that we know. And the phoenix rise. What's happening to us now is the phoenix is rising, it's revelation, and it's baptism time. You can guarantee those three things are happening right now. And most everything that's in the Bible is happening right now. Oh, you're sharing it. This guy's talented. Look at that.
There we go. Yeah. So that's for those that want to not talented, are just good with technology. I'd argue with that, but there you go. For those that are on the Facebook domain, so you've had a YouTube share and a Facebook domain, and so I don't mind helping out sharing that for you as well. And then have you got anywhere else? Have I seen you post somewhere? Have you got some kind of WordPress?
Just my YouTube. Sorry, I got a website, iudemy.com.
IU to me. So IYOUTOME.com.
Which means help me.
In Italiano.
In many languages. Aiuta.
Yeah. Bravo.
That's all good. I just put it there just for, I don't care about hits. I don't care about anything. I just want to share information.
I know you do. That's exactly what a few of us on this pathway. That's what I like about you, and what others like about you. Your energy when you've come into the Telegram chats, and whether I've been there or not, both times I've heard and seen or heard from others. You know, the fantastical side of the paradigm that we have in this existence. Is very easy to forget, isn't it? Whilst we are trying to make ends meet in this rat race. What else there is out there, and why we might be here, and what the purpose of our life is, other than to work, sleep, pay taxes for the man. And it's got lost in the translation, I suppose, from lawful to legal. And we need to take a moment, like in Ferris Bueller, I believe he says, you just in life, you've got to stop once in a while, take a look around, pause and just collect your bearings again. Ferris Bueller fans out there, I believe that's what he says at some point. And then you got to, move on and just, your higher self, connect with it,
We won't talk about this. We'll save for the next show, but taxes, karma.
Go on.
Just leave it at that.
Today's show is sponsored by Magnum, as we're talking Magneto Electro.
Original Jamaican recipe, nice.
16.5% volume. Little tonic there because I'm feeling under the weather. I don't often drink, especially on tube. I haven't had a drink for a long time, but my mate swears by it. Lots of good ingredients. Herbalists out there.
I don't know if I'm like the pin cushion or what, but on Christmas Eve, I got a spanking by Spirit.
Spanking? Oh my God.
Yeah. And I quit drinking. I promised that I was going to quit on January the 11th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was told that night, no, you're quitting now.
How did you get this message? Number one, how did this come across?
You'll find that you will do things. In this case, I was taking a hemp oil just for healing. Well, I took the wrong one. This one was really high THC.
Ooh.
And I'm a lightweight. and oh boy, I felt like I could have left.
You could spin. You could feel the spinning. Yeah.
I was Dorothy. Felt like the whole place was lifting. Felt like I was in the ether, and now there's a cat there. Now here's synchronicity. Earlier, because we were staying with some friends, everybody was in bed. I knew I was going to go. When I realized, okay, so I woke up at 1 a.m. I get up. Earlier that night, she took a ball of tinfoil and threw it for their older cat, Letitia, to play with. That cat didn't go anywhere near that ball, right? She's too old. Well, while I was tripping out and I kept having to drink water, I was thirsty. Like, yeah, it was not a good experience. But I've had these smaller episodes before, and I can get through it. But man, it ain't easy. Well, every time I'd start like just not feeling really good, and start, then the ego starts trying to take you apart, and you tell the ego to take a hike. And well, this one time I was getting hit really, really, really not good. All of a sudden, in the dark, I hear the tinfoil ball get smacked. Every time I started going dark, because it was like a wave, it come and go, right? And I know that. The next wave next the cat gets up and starts doing like a dance in front of me. You're this old cat that doesn't move. What are you doing? So it's spirit, because when a cat's involved, it's always spirit. But when there's a cat, the ones the Egyptians hold very near and dear, that cat, I've had many moments with that cat. But anyway, that night I knew. And I sat there and I go, okay, I guess I'm supposed to quit drinking now. And I got the spiritual nod. Because alcohol is the spirit remover. They call it spirits. No.
Yeah.
Because what happens is it thins your oils. It goes to your brain. You feel good, but then you crash. Now you have no more oil. And that's why people do one of these, because, there's spirits out of them. So somebody thought, well, I guess it's time for you now. But I've been procrastinating because I was getting a lot of signs that I needed to quit drinking. I was just a social drinker, but I would socialize a lot. So
in the Mediterranean, it's custom and practice drinking and certain things as well. It's second nature.
It's like
Italy.
You get the signs, man. You got to listen to them.
Alcohol, alagul, Arabic referencing with alcohol and spirits, the Muslim realm not drinking. There's a reason why they say they don't want to let the spirit in, the bad spirit coming in. And with regards to cats, I believe in Roman times, the cat was also revered by the Romans. And if you was caught near a dead cat, you'd be in deep doo-doo, deep shit if they thought you killed a cat. So the cat in itself, you don't own them, they own you.
and it ain't going to be the Romans that does something to you. Yeah. The animals are going to talk to the hunters. The animals are going to talk to the farmers. The insects are going to find everybody. Because no matter where you're at in this world, those profit mongers, they gotta fess up, man. Because it doesn't matter where you're at. The smallest little thing can find you. Because people are worried about being tracked on these things. Who gives a crap? Spirit knows where you're at. Every breath, every heartbeat. That's who gives you your karma, not these guys. That's another brainwash. Who cares? Give all your stuff away.
You're transceiving with the ethereal flux fields of modality with your DNA, allegedly with the DNA, with the heart, the electromagneto interface, the brain, the electrode, the pineal gland. Obviously, we've got, we live in a universe, a solar system, a universe and a galaxy that relies upon it, allegedly. So we've come to learn. I don't know. I haven't tested it myself, but it appears there is an electromagneto, not a magneto-electro, but I would say man is the magnet and the space is where the electricity is, and we have that electromagneto interface all of the time, and we don't need to see or seek the permission of a priest to connect to the divine original source code. We can do it ourselves for free anytime we want. Any priest that tells you different, shame on him. or her, but generally him. In
Everybody's
in
looking-
in wait
everybody's
wait
looking for-
wait wait in the Catholic but cat holistic realm, even they've followed the cat with the Catholic, yeah, the Catholics and the Catholics with the cat holistic. Is there again the cat? Shh. What is it with the cat? Go on, sorry, brother.
No, it's all good. Well, you got the C, you got the alpha, and you got the cross, right? The A and the T is on the cross, so she's seeing you through alpha on the cross. I mean, you got to take it down to the letter. So, yeah.
It's good to see you. It's good to chat with you. I'm glad we've done this. Finally, it's been a long time coming. I've asked Claudio to come on before, said we'd talk about, introduce him, have a lightweight, hour and a half. It's been nearly 2.5 hours. So we've done well. We haven't even tried.
Yeah. You want to let her go?
Maybe we could perhaps look at we're going to look at another video. We're going to focus on, he's got a lot of knowledge with regards to the next topic we want to discuss, human rights and rights in general and why we look at that. And then maybe we'll go back to some more topics such as this and maybe look at further information that we can constructively articulate to entertain. But I want to say hello to who's in the room, but my phone keeps going weird. It says there's Chill Star there, Jerry, Kathy, and then that's all I can see. But
Well, I know with all the knowledge you have in your head, brother, that you hold many, many keys that our metaphysics in the Bible is going to need, because I know you do. I know you do.
We all do, yes, brother. But thank you for that.
I know you do. Because I sense it and I feel it, and I know we're all part of the same team. It's not a competition. It's not a race. The race is all of us, every single one of us. And the only way we win is togetherness, each and every one of us. And nobody is, information is not yours. Those that think that it's mine and I discovered it, no, you didn't. It's information bouncing off of the freaking firmament. Belongs to all of us. Just because it tuned into your frequency doesn't mean it's yours and you discovered. Like who wants glory? Like, I don't want no glory. My glory is the magic and watching everybody see the magic. That's my glory. Watching.
Yeah, wow.
Oh, when somebody says, "Hey, I saw this number," as simple as that. When people say, "Oh, I saw these numbers," I'm going, "Yes." But when they start talking about the animal encounters, yes. When they start talking about that, that's the glory. Like jump in, the water's warm kind of thing.
Chill Star says 11:11.
I get my cleanses. I get my energies. I feel all those things that everybody's feeling. But the thing is when you greet them with, I don't want to say who gives a shit. No, because that's not the right thing. When you greet them with love and knowing that they're karmic and they're for you, and that you can let them go now, they become lesser and lesser and lesser. So that's the invigorating part, Fratello. And then I yield.
It's much the same for me, seeing others being able to use their rights. Their rights haven't been stolen from them. They've just been cleverly hidden. And in the legal realm, they can be retained and reserved, and we can use certain things to enforce that. So, yeah, it's my payment is very much not physical, not monetary, even though we live in a monetary environment. It's it's a beautiful thing what you've said there. The chat room, Chills just said 33 in the chat, 11:11 time. That's quite comical. They're noticing certain synchronicities, numbers. I want to say hello to Being and Chill Star, and then we've got Jerry in there. My chat will not refresh though. There's something happening weird with the chat room tonight. I was going to give the ones that are watching, Chippy Paul. There we go. There's somebody new there. There's Kathy, Lindsay. She's put Kath, Cathode. Stephen K has asked a question: what's the most important message for us right now?
Be good.
Yeah.
Images, man. Keep those images Remember, protect that child within. Don't let it hear anything. Don't let it see anything. Don't let it eat anything. Don't let it breathe anything. Don't let it do anything. Protect that child within.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll look at it to wrap up there then, with regards to the topics. Thank you, brother, and I'll get you back, or I'll be in trouble. I think you've done well. You've made a good impression, and I think we've had fun, haven't we? It's flown by.
We've done a good impression. A lot of things. Some of the things I learned from you. We get it from everybody, man. So it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, here's the measure. We know we will be complete when everybody has a YouTube channel and they only have one follower themselves.
Your bomb pot.
Think about it. Just one.
Yep.
Because you know what? Because you don't need 1 million followers. You don't need 1 billion. You don't need 2. You only need 1. You. Because that means once everybody gets it, they don't need to go and follow anybody anymore.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, the knowledge will be attained, and then therefore we will all.
Right. So that's when you know. When everybody gets 1 follower, we're done.
Unfortunately, there is that much to learn and that much to catch up upon, and we've.
I know.
We need.
I get it.
We need these outlets and information portals for the time being, like you have learnt from Ken and Santos and myself, SPLs, whatever, and we learn, we give, and once that knowledge has been attained and we have that which we need, rights and so forth, and the deceptions that are afoot, then we can encounter these battles on our own and without the help of anybody else. We know who we are, we know where we are, what we are, why we are, when we are, and we can walk that path up alone, or with protection, adequate protection, and we control the fear, and we have the knowledge of which we seek, or that we have seeked to attain. And we retain it as well. It's not just attaining it, but it's retaining it as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'll say good night and ciao bello, stay mellow, to the scribes, to yourself. I'm going to crash out, and
it's
we'll arrange.
For you. It's at 11:30.
It is, yeah. And your time?
6:30.
Oh, we have a good evening.
You too, brother.
You and your queen.
Much love and respect. Always.
Yes, yeah. Thank you, Claudio. It's been excellent. A good introduction, a good splashdown.
Awesome.
Thanks, got good energy.
Really
Thank you.
Appreciate your time and wisdom.
It's just gabbing, like you say, the word gab. I can't believe you said the word gab. That's like a Yorkshire, Sheffield thing, that gabbing on. Yeah. Bless you, and we'll see you soon then. Thank you, scribes, and we'll be back soon. All right, I hope you've enjoyed it. There is more to come. Yeah.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci. Ciao for now, we say.
Ciao.
All right, bye-bye. Thank you, brother. Speak soon.
Ciao.
Thank you, scribes. Enjoy.